Okay, Texas versus Johnson, by Hayden Bird, English, period 4. Court court case background. Texas versus Johnson was granted on June 21st, 1989. This was so Gregory Lee Johnson could use his First Amendment to the fullest extent. Johnson was the Republican Party against the state of Texas. So, it's in the slide, but I'll give my own personal rundown of the situation. So there was this protest happening, and this is just very basic. There was this protest happening, and as part of the protest, Gregory Lee Johnson set an American flag on fire as symbolic speech, which got him arrested. Court case background part 2. Texas vs. Johnson was a petitioner case. Gregory Lee Johnson disagreed with the law and his charge of violating a Texas statute. So he sent a petition to protect himself and change an unfair law. So yeah, I put an opinion in there because personally, I think that, no matter what you do or not what you do, no matter what you say, I feel like, especially something like symbolically, I think our First Amendment shouldn't have any okay, this is too far. Especially with America. I mean, especially with America, we shouldn't have any limits. Because this is our country, and I think that, we could talk about however we want, but I'm just a boy. Court case background part 3. Gregory Lee Johnson was and still is an American political activist who was born here in Indiana. In 1971 to 1973, Gregory was a Marine, and throughout his time serving, he started building a resentment against America. In 1984, Gregory attended the Republican National Convention, where he publicly burned an American flag, which he was charged for and found unfair, so he challenged the Supreme Court. Court case background part 4. The Supreme Court decided on a 5-4 opinion on June 21st, 1989. In the favor of Gregory Lee Johnson, The Supreme Court decided on a 5-4 opinion on June 21st, 1989 in the favor of Gregory Lee Johnson. Justice Brennan ruled the majority opinion that Justices Thurgood Marshall, Harry Blackmun, Anton Scalia, and Anthony Kennedy. The stakes and the time periods effect. The stakes for this case were extremely important, especially for the future. Texas vs. Johnson is about a flaw in our First Amendment, a flaw that didn't give us our freedom of speech or freedom of symbolic speech. The time period was an extremely important in time. This was when society was really changing. People were changing norms. The legalization of abortion. People were discovering things in themselves, like their sexualities. If this happened 50 years ago from when it did, it would have never been passed, in my opinion. That's not a fact. Especially in a location where most of the families are patriotic Democrats. Values and status quo. The values were our freedom. Not allowing burning a flag as a symbolic speech was limiting our freedom of speech. The status quo was completely changed. We can now protest in new ways and express ourselves symbolically in different ways. I'm not saying that I think burning the flag is very appropriate. I actually find that I guess you could say like offensive, but I don't think that we should be limited by that. Reflection and action. I think that it's very important that Johnson won the case. The lasting effect was on protesting and allowed more versatility and more freedom. I think just expressing how you feel verbally, physically, artistically, and any other outlets would be a great way for the class to take steps forward. Now, if you saw my project for the key to happiness, you know how I am with these outlets. I feel that the best way you can do it is to express how you feel, and so that's one of the big reasons I chose this case, because it's like this is a man using his First Amendment to protest his feelings or however he felt, and those are the sources. Okay, bye.